Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is another Hostile Galaxy Kitchen Table Wargaming Battle Report. This is league game, is this 4 or 5? This is 5. I get to play my buddy Jonathan. Haven't played him in a while. He has excellent Space Wolves. So you'll see them in a minute. This is a 1,500 point match. I'm currently at 1497 because I wanted to play with toys. And the best way to play with toys is to make them fit in your game. So the characters, I've got my Warlord. He is the Exalted on disc. He is the Master Misinformants or Warlord trait, so I can redeploy him in D3 units beginning of the game. You got a Sorcerer and Terminator armor. He has the Umbralific Crystal. I might need that Get Out of Dodge plus my spells, right? You know, it was pretty handy the other day when I tried it out. And then I've got Ahriman running around. He is on foot because points and because, if I haven't mentioned it recently, our army was created for 30k, hence the older style Marines. And he's not on a disc in 30k, so I didn't want to mess with that. I've got 2 6-man bricks, or not bricks, but squads of Terminators. I've got a Soul Reaper cannon each one, no Hellfire missiles today. The 3 5-man rubrics. I've got a Hellbrute, Multi-Melta, and Fist. I've got a squad of 4 Chaos Spawn. Yeah, I keep thinking if I should split them. I'm going to run them as 4 just to see what happens. And then I've got a Dreadclaw. This will be the first time I've got to use this, but it seems saucy and fun. So I'm going to give it a whirl, and that is my 1,497 points. Cult of Duplicity. Yeah, we're going to have a good time. So we'll come back in a second and show you the Space Wolves. Here we go, folks. It is the Space Wolves. I always just really like the way Jonathan paints his Space Wolves. Yes, I know, I hear you. They're not 100% finished, but that's because these are some brand new boys that he's bringing out to play. So save your feedback on that for later. We've got 2 5-man squads of the Assault Intercessors. We've got a 5-man squad of regular Intercessors. And a CP was spent for this red-headed lad's shiny bolt gun that if he hits, does he have to hit or does he just have to shoot?
Just has to hit.
Just has to hit. So as long as he hits what he's shooting at, everybody else gets a reroll 1s to wound, right? Yes. Yeah, Lieutenant Bubble effectively gets onto the target. So that's ridiculous. I'm not excited about that, but it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. This is good old Bjorn. He is actually rocking a Multi-Melta today. That's just there because it used to be the thing to do, as some of you know how that goes. This is Najal, the Stormcaller. I'm so happy. He's a Psyker. And it's a cool name. It's great. I've been reading the Siege of Terra books, and they talk about Stormcaller. It's fun. Anywho, on to the big bads. You've got some Thunderwolf Cav here. These dudes are all with Power Fists. We've got 5 Wolfen. There are 4 Hammers and some Lightning Claws there. 2 3-man squads of Eradicators. And then another 5-man squad of Thunderwolf. These are, you said, rocking the Lightning Claws.
Lightning Claw.
Do they have a shield and Lightning Claws? Or just...
Lightning Claw, Storm Shield.
Lightning Claw and Storm Shield. And Bjorn, I didn't mention, he is the Warlord, but no Warlord traits were given because kind of didn't need to. He does have the Captain Reroll 1's bubble built in. Kind of saucy because he's a Dreadnought, and then he can also have Wisdom of the Ancients, and he's a Captain-Lieutenant combination because don't be hasty. He's cool like that. There you go. 1,500 points of Space Wolves. It'll be really interesting to see how this goes. He's got a lot of speed. I don't. But I have teleporty shenanigans, so it'll be a good time. We shall be back in a minute. We know the mission because it's a league game, but we'll do our deployments and get everything set up. Then we'll show you the board, talk about the mission, and we'll catch you back in a second. Alrighty, we are here and we are deployed and we are playing Abandoned Sanctuaries. That is the mission for this league game. Yep, it is mission 21, I think, which ironically is the one I played for my test game the other day. Woohoo! And then I changed my list up. But here's where we're at. I'm on this side of the board, obviously. Jonathan's over there with his Space Wolves. We have 3 objectives down through the center. You've got 1 in that building there. You got 1 in this building here. The Abandoned Sanctuaries mission bonus thing, I guess you call it, is if you hold the center, you get 2 points at the end of your turn. Or if you kill something within 6 inches, and it's the center objective only, I think, isn't it? For the second option? Or is it just 6 inches of any objective?
Center.
It is the center one. So everything revolves around this one, basically, for this game. So That's that. I am using my Dreadclaw because I can't wait. I'm so excited. So my Hellbrutes in the Dreadclaw drop pod, and then I've got Terminators and Deep Strike. Got little rubrics over here. Got Terminators. Got the Exalted Sorcerer, Ahriman, Terminator. 5 more rubrics. Got the 4 spawn and the more rubrics over that direction. On the other side, we've got a squad of angry intercessors in that building. There's a squad of angry ones inside that building. A whole bunch of wolves, and Bjorn, and multi-meltas. It's kind of dangerous. And then this is also kind of dangerous. You got your regular intercessors with the scary bolt gun. You got the Wolfen, and then more eradicators. And also a Stormcaller's tucked away inside. Oh, he's in that back corner there. Yeah, there's a lot of threats just packed in right there. It is a spicy. Speaking of spicy, here we go with our secondaries. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about mine, but I'm taking Mutate. I've got Raised Banners, which is iffy. If the game goes in Jonathan's direction, I will score nothing from that. Well, I'll score like 4. If it goes my direction, I'll get a few more points, but we shall see. Wrath of Magnus is going to be the one where I have to cast more of different types of spells than Jonathan does, and if I do, I get a point for that. He has Warrior Pride, Mighty Saga, and Glory Kills, and all of these are benefiting his Space Wolves crazy shenanigans. There's some for charging, some for Bjorn taking wounds off of things in melee and killing things, and I don't remember that's the Glory Kills. Yeah, anyways, we'll discuss those more as they happen, but it's just a lot of death, killing, madness, mayhem, and mauling, which is what Space Wolves are good for. So it'll be a good time. We're going to do our roll-off, see who is going to start this game. So here we go. Wow, I started with a 2, and he has rolled a 6. It is Space Wolves, turn 1. We'll be back in just a minute. Well, it is the end of the Wolves' turn 1. If you're noticing that it doesn't look like a lot happened, that's because not a lot happened. Jonathan was quite disappointed to get first turn because his army wants to be a little bit more reactive. They want to be coming out and chewing on my legs instead of not. In here, there was some moving, getting some eradicators closer to the front wall so they can bust out and do some nasty shenanigans. Mr. Stormcaller did get closer, and he did successfully cast 2 powers. However, he cast on double 6s for his first spell, which was the light cover spell, right? Yeah. So he went ahead and wore it. He only suffered 1 mortal wound from his perils, and that was it. These guys over here got a little closer, just a little closer, because if I want VPs, I've got to go over here and hold this, and that's going to cost me just a little bit. So we will be back in just a minute for the Thousand Suns turn 1. No, it makes me nervous because he didn't give me anything. I don't appreciate. Thank you very little, sir. Thank you very little.
Double turns of doing nothing?
I know. We shall see. So there we go. That is going to be the end of Space Wolves turn 1. If the camera quality seems a little worse today, it's because my gimbal just died on me. Well, that's cute. So I'm doing a handheld, and it's a little rougher than sometimes. So we'll be back in a second for Thousand Suns turn 1. 'Tis the end of my turn. These guys move forwards, but they are moving forwards in a way that they are not exposed just yet, and they're within 6 inches of that objective now. But this side has a lot of fangs and claws, and I didn't really want to stand out in the open close to those guys with their big movements, because that seems unintelligent. Over here, we had Terminator. He raised the banner. These boys tried to mutate landscape. It was denied. Very successfully, yes. I rolled like an 8, and he rolled like a 12 or a 10. A 10, I think, on that one. So I got no points for mutate. Ahriman did something. I don't remember what he did. He did something nice. Glamour, yes, and we put it onto the Hellbrute. So the Hellbrute is a -1 to hit. That was really all he could do. This guy moved up. These guys used the Umbralific Crystal to just pop forwards, make a little wall for this guy because I didn't want to spend the CP and or possibly not have him pass his test to get back out of the way. So he's there. Dropped the drop pod because it was fun. Failed my charges, but hey, I tried. I did get 2 shots off with the Hellbrute. He made 2 wounds. I was so proud of him. And then Jonathan rolled 2 1s, so he CP rerolled 1 into a 6 like a boss. So I killed a single wolf with that, but I did kill a dude from that pack. I got him with a multi-melta. I got one over here with mortals. No, I got 2 with mortals from this.
Correct.
Yes. And one from there with the multi-melta. So I did a little damage there, a little bit, not much. These guys did a lot of shooting into both squads. Not really much to say for that. Over here, the spawns moved out. I did decide to advance them because I thought that'd be nice to get the extra movement, and I rolled a 1. Cool. These guys used a sorcerer's facade and just jumped up onto this objective so I can get ready for next turn. Probably to meet a glorious charge, and that'll be exciting, but to be able to at least mutate, as long as one of them's still alive, that's all I need. So I can get it done over there. Maybe, because Mr. doesn't like my mutate, is denying it, so, cool, hurrah, huzzah. That's it. I picked up 2 points for Wrath of Magnus, and I raised a singular banner, and we're going into turn 2 for the Space Wolves. Well, the Space Wolves, turn 2 is done. The damage has also been done. This whole mess in here was real bad, real ugly. Eradicators all came out to play over there. Those Eradicators killed a spawn. Those Eradicators killed a Hellbrute. Just bloop, he dead. He gone. Mr. Bjorn took 7 of my 9 wounds off of my drop pod and then charged it and killed it in glorious combat. Mr. Bjorn and his big bad self done scored 5 points from Mighty Saga with all his killing, getting on an objective outside deployment zone, etc., wounding a vehicle. It was ridiculous. Very nice. Everybody here charged, surprising nobody. They charged, surprising nobody. This one was hilarious. Mr. Johnathon rolled a 1 on their advance. He's like, look, they can advance and charge. And I told him, I said, you're going to need that 1. Just trust me. That 1 is going to make a difference. He needed a 2, technically, to get into engagement range. He rolled Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
And at first, there was some despair because that's what always happens with Johnathon. And I was like, but let's measure. And we measured it. He was exactly 2, just outside of 2. So he made it with his 3-inch charge. And it was because he rolled a 1-inch advance. It was very funny. We had some good laughs. He made his charges there, made charges over here. This combat was comical because, it is what it is. I punched a dude to death. Mr. Smacky Stick did nothing, but I punched a guy to death, and it was with a CP reroll. It's fabulous. So he failed a 3-up save 3 times for that one guy to die. It was glorious. I'm so happy. That was the only thing that I could be excited about in this turn because it was kind of bad right here. Something else had happened.
Fancy strat?
Yeah, that's what it was. He popped his little cool strat. Like, the Thousand Suns have one that we can reroll everything against Space Wolves. Well, guess what? They have one too, which it seems only fair. Wolfen, for 1 CP, rerolled all hits and all wounds, and my Terminators would have killed a 10-man Terminator squad in 1 go. That's how good that was. It was real nice. So my Terminator break was dead, Hellbrute, and Drop Pod. And that, it feels painful to me. I feel hurt. I feel a little offended. So we're going to have to come back for my turn 2 and see if I can kill things and make myself feel better. But it's a little iffy. I was scared. That whole 1 CP reroll everything was kind of brutal. So we'll be back for Thousand Suns turn 2 next. Well, my turn has ended. It is interesting, sad, and glad all at the same time. We've had some good chuckles so far. So Mr. Ahriman got himself out here, did some damage, killed 2 Thunderwolf on his own, and then he was not able to move. It's kind of embarrassing, a little awkward. Sorcerer over here came around. He was able to do absolutely nothing to the Wolfen in the psychic phase. Yeah, got denied, shut down really hard. I did mutate the landscape over here, so that was cute. And he did not deny that one, so I was excited about that. Then what else happened? Then I did a miscalculation on Cabal points, and I tried to cheat and move this feller over to where my Terminator's deep struck, back there. And realized I was 1 Cabal point too few, so he didn't. And then I tried to cast his spell, and he didn't, because why would you ever want to do something useful when you do it wrong? These guys, I did move, and then I advanced just to get, and it was a big enough advance to get all of them touching the objective. So if he charges me, which he will, and I don't die, then I will at least contest it, so that'll be good. And we did a lot of chuckling because so far, it's been interesting. We'll show you that combat in a second. I did do a smite and did a singular wound. So they're already bleeding. Yes, that was good. Yes, and I did a smite over here from the Terminators, and they popped one, which was nice, and then failed their charge, because that's not nice. And all the shooting shot everybody off there. Does he need morale? I don't know. Yeah, he does. So he's going to roll morale while we do that. And then panning over here, this is the combat of the century. Fisticuffs, killed another one. Plasma gun in the face, or plasma pistol in the face, killed one. And then the sorcerer's staff killed another one. So down to one remaining there. So we had some good laughs and chuckles. Oh, he's spending 2 CPs to pass the magic bullet gun. I really don't like that gun. He needs to die.
I need an objective.
Yeah, I know. Does he need a morale over there? He only lost 3 this turn, right? I don't know. Nah, he's fine. He's good. So that is the end of the turn. So I picked up a banner point. I did mutate, and I got another Wrath of Magnus point, and I got 2 for the mission bonus for killing a unit that was in the center, because the Wolfen were touching within 6 of the center. Yeah, but I'm sure not taking it back this turn. So now some characters are going to die, and I'm going to be sad, and then we'll come back and show you what's left after Space Wolves turn 3. It is the end of Space Wolves turn 3. Mr. Doggo Boy charged on over here. He killed 1.5, and then that guy killed 1.5. What? Like, that's what? Anyway, he was getting some revenge over there. Over here, character's dead because he took 12 Melta shots and saved all but 1 of them. And it was from the mighty Bjorn, and he managed to roll exactly the correct number of wounds to kill him. I did have to CP 1 of the 12, so I actually only saved 11 or 10, but I CP'd 1, and it was passed. So that was cool because I meant that everything that was going to shoot to kill him had to shoot, and then couldn't shoot at my Terminator, so that was good. Then they did the charging into Ahriman. He did not survive, Mr. Bjorn. It was close-ish, but on his D6 damages, he got 2 that went through, and he rolled like 9 wounds, I think. So Mr. Ahriman only has 6. Yeah. So the poor little puppy dogs, they didn't get to do anything. Over here, they made the charge. We have been laughing a lot off-screen, off-camera, because every turn so far that there's been a charge, we've rolled a 3 or a 2. Right. Both of us have. And it's been enough to make the charge in most of those cases, but then he went and rolled an 11 for that dog that only needed like a 5-inch charge. So it's been kind of interesting with the whole charge, but it's been enough, obviously, because Space Wolves are all over here, and that's not good for me. Over here, they made their charge, and then Johnathon said, I'm going to spend that strat, and I'm going to have them re-roll everything. And it worked. Killed 2.5. So I punched back and killed a guy with a fist, and then he saved his my staff stick, whatever, wounds. Anyways, it was all good. It's been a good time. So, yeah, it's very bloody. I don't know that I have enough to get through some of this mess over here now. So we'll see. We'll be back in a minute. And the other problem is that the Space Wolf secondaries are strong when they're out there killing things. So his secondary game has already lapped me like twice. I don't think there's any coming back from that. So anyways, we'll see. Going into Thousand Suns, turn 3 next. Oh boy, here we are. End of Thousand Suns, turn 3. Over here, the combat went poorly for me. I lost a 1.5, so I'm down to just 1.5 guys, which means he now secures this objective. And I didn't even kill one in combat. It was so disappointing. Over here, surprise, surprise, nothing has happened. I wasn't bringing them out to play. That's bad juju right there. I did shoot all my Terminator shots into these guys and killed 1.5, so that was a thing. My psychic phase was atrocious, I'll say that up front. Actually, I got a lot of powers off. Jonathan's denial phase was stronger. It was kind of rude. I did get to teleport, so he is over yonder, and then he cast a smite, which did a wound. Yeah, it did. Into the one Sargento cheese right there. He's still there. Yeah, because the Terminators charged the character, the Storm Caller. So no more of your denial, well, from him. Yeah. He still has a strat to deny. But I killed the Storm Caller, and then the Terminator failed his charge. He was supposed to charge both, so I could try to hit that Sargento down there. Over here, the combat that never ended finally ended. It's very brutal. My one dude that was left swung into him, because if I could kill him, I had my OBSEC left, because the wolf had already fought. I got a wound through. Johnathon CP'd it. He had 1 CP left, which he really wanted to use to do the reroll strat on those guys. So he used his CP and saved that guy. And then that guy came in and actually killed my last rubric over there. So he secured the objective there. I will definitely be losing on the points for that primary in this turn. And then it's going to be real interesting to see what happens after that. So it's a super actually close points game, but there's a lot of stuff that is of the wrong color in the middle of the board. And that's a problem for me. I've got, and we don't have many minutes before the shop ends. So we're wrapping it up. We'll be back. Space Wolves 4 in a second. Tis the end of the turn for the Space Wolves. We're almost out of time for the shop closing, so we're going to speed run this. These boys made their charge with the CP reroll every turn. We've had the CP reroll charges. But it made it in, then they mulched. The dogs helped, killed my last one. Over here, they just kind of consolidated a bit to the middle. Over here, I did more damage than he did, but that's because I used my CP to reroll everything against Space Wolves. And it seems silly, but my Mr. Staff Boy rolled 3 ones to wounds. So I rerolled into 2 wounds, and then 2 went through, and I rolled a 1 and a 1 on my D3 damage. And then we did the killing there. So that's the end of that. We'll be back in a minute for Thousand Suns turn 4. Okay, end of my turn. Did the smiting, did the cabal points, got rid of those guys. Did the shooting and the charging, got rid of the eradicators, took the objective with the charge. That's it. We'll be back in a second for the end of Space Wolves, turn 5. All right, we're piling through points. He's got the math going over there on the digital app. We did a lot of combating over here, and I survived with 2 guys, put all my attacks into the dog, spent the CP to reroll everything, maintaining that objective, which will, I believe, clinch it because I now will hold 3. So we could come back at the end of Thousand Suns turn 5, but it won't matter, I don't think. So we'll... Actually, we will. We'll just make sure on a couple things. So we'll be back in just a second. Well, there's much celebrating and crying. Don't ever let it be said that this is not a dice game. So we did smites, and I spent my last CP to do a Doom Bolt, which only barely went off. He spent for, what is it, the True Silver Armor, or whatever it's called, where you shrug on 5-ups for mortal wounds. Oh, he had that, sorry. But he was able to keep him alive with 3 wounds left. He saved enough. He would have been dead without that. He saved enough to be alive, get into combat. I had 1 guy left. He needed a 5 to stay alive, and he rolled a 5. And that was it. That was the end of it. And if that hadn't happened, I would have stepped on that objective for the end of the game. I would have had 12 on primary, ended up with 8 on primary, and he got the mission bonus of 5 for holding it at the end of the game. And it was a wild game. So, final score ended up being
73-61.
73-61. Bananas. Such a good game. Super duper fun. Thank you, sir. That's been a pleasure and a blast. And the store is closed, so we need to leave. Otherwise, we'd talk longer. Absolutely fun game. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Please like, subscribe, follow, and share. And we'll be back in the future for another Hostile Galaxy Kitchen Table Wargaming Battle Report.